Show start.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Thomas.
dokes.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at changing the look of your self-hosted control panel. This will be today's topic. Now I've done all the formal stuff. Um, we can crack on with it. So basically, it's like a custom theme. This is what Buzztouch.com looks like when you're setting up a new app with your user, and you know your theme could be anything. So so it could be this instead, which is what I've set up. In fact, I've made mine slightly different even beyond that. Um, but you get the image. You can kind of change things, change the color, change the font, change images. Um, so there are ways to do this. You've got your oh yeah, sorry. I'm going to do a live edit while we're doing this. So if you can see the account details, those are the details that you'll need to get into this account, which will be showing the kind of editing I'm doing live. So don't know. Have you got that down? Have you gone to that address or?
I want to go there right now.
You don't need to. It's just that I'll be editing live and then publishing it, and then you can see the differences.
Okay.
Um,
Let me
so
just log in. Let me just see. This seems
yeah, sure.
so you can see what you're doing live. Oh right, I get you.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll just be publishing the CSS document every minute or so, so you can see what I'm doing.
Oh, cool.
Um,
All right.
so, so I'd advise you to just go to that address, put in those details, and then just keep refreshing the page. Um, um, Another thing is you should turn caching off, um, because caching saves the CSS, and if I'm editing it all the time, you don't really want it to be saving. You want it to show the new one. Okay.
Okay. So we're now. I signed in. Now we're seeing your starting point for your self-hosting. Oh, that's cool. That's a good demo.
Okay.
I can flip my screen
So
so I can see both.
so it should just be using the standard CSS that the Buzztouch control panel gives you. Sorry, that the Buzztouch gives you, the kind of cream thing. So to change, has everybody got this down? Has everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you change you took out all your CSS just for this today then, huh?
Yeah. Well, actually, I created a new panel.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if everybody's got that down, I'll go over to the next slide. Um, so there's kind of two main ways to do it. You've got oh god, right, animations. Yes, of course. Go animations. Yeah.
Huh.
Right, okay. So you've got CSS, which is the main way. That's how you change the color of the font and stuff like that. And you've got images, which is more obvious. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm also going to be using Mr. David's theme because it's a good starting platform. I feel that it's a better place to start than using the Buzztouch one. So you can find that at btmods.com. So we'll be kind of going from there. Now I'll first start off with the images because it is just easier to get your head around. And it's pretty easy actually. If we have a look here, this is what in the images directory. This is what Buzztouch will give you, and these are for all kinds of images that the system needs, or that your control panel needs to just keep going. So this is like again, they might look a bit pixelated, but this is the kind of arrow. This is the error message and the Android icon, and you can kind of guess where these are situated. You know, across the across the control panel, and to have a look, you can be, if we just go to the address. Okay. Let me just go into the CSS account. Okay. So we can guess that that's a moving GIF image there, that loading thing. And if we go here, then we can see here that this picture with the iPad and the iPhone and the Android phone is the same as this picture here in the directory. We can kind of see that straight away. And you know, all the other images you'll find here that you need. So for instance, when you're uploading a new app icon, this is the image, this is the iPhone that goes behind this, and so on. You know, you can guess where these images go. So a big thing already is to just change them. So if you know, because it's an image, just by changing it, you'll just change where the what image is shown straight away. So so what I have here on the right of the screen is what I use for my control panel. And it's just different. I mean, it's different. So you can see here the differences between the two error ones. The red one is the one that that Buzztouch gives you, and the purple one is the one that I have created. Now, with my personal control panel, I have a very purple theme, so I want to go with this purple idea. But then to have like an iOS badge is, you know, so again, left is what Buzztouch gives you, the right is what I've created, and this just changes what it is, you know, the image. So
That's cool.
it changes what is shown.
Are you willing to
Right.
share some of those images with us, Thomas, in case anyone wants to try use some of yours?
Yeah, I'd be very happy to. I'll be very happy to share these images. So
You don't have to,
you
but
can
it would be kind of nice that once people see these nice images, they might want to switch somewhere on.
Yeah, certainly. And then I just thought about kind of customizing the social media tabs and stuff like that. And you'll find where they are just by going on the website and just seeing where these images are.
Mm-hmm.
You'll kind of find them and so on. So that's one way. That's one really obvious way of making it your own. Now, one thing I also wanted to just highlight on are the overlays for the icons. Now you see, with iOS 7, overlays has become a thing of the past, let's say. You'll notice that in the old one, I just recommend doing this. You'll notice that in the old one here, you can see this kind of overlay, this kind of glossy effect, which you can see is this icon, or this file here, icon underscore overlay underscore 72 PNG. So I just immediately recommend just making that a blank file, because overlays are now a thing of the past. They're not in iOS 7, and I haven't been using them anyway. So those are things to do. So if we upload them to our server here, then we'll immediately see what has been changed. So let me just upload that, and then after that's done, you'll just be able to refresh the page, and then it isn't many files. So I'm just uploading that to my server right now, and then right, okay, it's 30 files to go. Sorry, my internet might be a bit slower than yours. Right, okay, so it should be done now. So if we go back to this, do you see here you've suddenly now got this purple one instead of the green one that was there before, and you'll see that we've got some different GIF here. Certain things have changed. Let's just say, for instance, now here is my Woodstock app that I put there as an image. So you can see that these things have changed. That to me is probably one of the biggest things that you can do. Now, as I said, I'm going to be basing this around David's Mr. David's theme package from his website. So I'm now going to upload that, and you'll suddenly see a massive difference. I think that his theme is a better place to start than Buzztouch's play.
Is this from
Theme.
Mr. David or from PSM Danny?
This is from Mr. David. This one.
Oh, okay.
So now if we refresh the page, sorry, yeah, again, remember to disable your caches and empty them because it's saved. Right, do you see that is now completely different? What's happened is that there is now a different font, a different color, different header, different font colors, that kind of thing. So really, it's now just been completely changed. Different color combination. Although notice that the images have stayed there because the images are not to do with the CSS. They're nothing to do with that. So it is changed.
But actually, how you switched out those images, that's probably the best thing a person could do for their self-hosted control panel is put an image of their own app, and that reflects their own company, to show that they make apps. So when their client goes to their web page, it looks like them.
Yeah. I'd actually say that the images is the single biggest thing that you can do, and it's the easiest thing that you can do. So now that we're on CSS, I kind of want to I want to get more into that. So now I'm just going to connect to the new CSS that we've uploaded. Okay. So just give me a second. I'm just uploading it. There you go. Right. So CSS. Sorry, just give. Right. Okay. Is not a way that you can build a web page. It's not a programming language, if you see what I mean. It's a style sheet, as they call it. It's like a theme that your HTML or PHP or documents will contact to and get a kind of general theme. It actually stands for cascading style sheets, although nobody knows that unless you're nerdy. Even programmers would kind of wink at you if you said that. But it's known as CSS to everyone. Now it runs on the for 6-digit hexadecimal color code that goes from 0 to F that determines a color. Now you can go on many online things to kind of see what the color is. Now what I wanted to start with is actually the fonts. I've put a few enters between them because what you're doing, and with many programming languages, is you're getting the file at the beginning of the program or at the beginning of the document, and then after that you're kind of linking to that file throughout the program. That's how many programming languages work, and it's exactly the same in CSS. At the beginning, you have this @font_face kind of section where you link to the font, and then later on you can get this kind of font. So this gets the file, and then the rest of the document just links to that file. So for fonts to work on a website, you need 4 files. I think I'm correct in saying. You need. Let me just have a check. You need your TTF file, a TTF font file. You need a WOFF or WOFF file, and you need your EOT file. These are all of the things that you, and actually you need your
So you need all three of those, Thomas?
Pardon?
Is it you need all three of those files for one font?
If you're wanting to have custom fonts on your server, then you will need them, and actually you'll need SVG as well.
I've never done that. That's cool.
So you need those files. Now there are many converters online. So you just drag in your font file, and then it downloads this this thing. Now you don't need it for all fonts. It's only for custom fonts. So if you're thinking of a font like Times New Roman, you know every computer has that installed. So you don't need to make this. You don't need to upload that to your server. It would only be in the event of the computer not having the font that you wanted, then it wouldn't show that font. Now this is a way of getting around this problem by just hosting the font on your server, and then it just looks at that font all the time. So we keep this in the fonts folder inside the theme folder, although really it can be anywhere. And what we're doing here, so let's just take the first one. Each block is a font here. So we've got, what we have at the top is we have Rockwell Regular, and then we have we have a link to it down here. So we have fonts / Now that's just to get the directory right. And then you have EOT, and then WOF and TTF and SVG. All of those font files that you're linking to. Now you don't need to be able to type this in. You can use the online. You just search on Google font face CSS converter or something like that. You upload your font file, and then it downloads the script that you need for the CSS and all of the files that you need. So there's no need to individually convert them. So that's just on the fonts bit. So I think that's quite handy to know. Now if we go down a little bit, it is quite a lot of kind of, for me, it was just a lot of searching around and looking at what does what, and that's how I kind of learnt really. Thankfully, David, Mr. David, has commented a lot of the stuff, so it's very easy to find out what it is, and it's actually, if you just spend 10 minutes running through the file, you'll quickly find out what it is. Now let's just take, for example, I don't know, let's say content box. Okay, I'm going to separate that. So if we see everything below the dashes is what I'm looking at right now. So just to make sure you know. So this is so your HTML or PHP documents will contact this CSS document and say, I want to use content box here, and it's known as .contentBox. So then the CSS knows that that's the section of code it needs to deliver back to the HTML or PHP to display it. So if I just load this on my side, oh sorry, wrong one. There you go. So the content box. Let's just have a look at it. And I used to know exactly where what these were, but let's just say that we change the radius. So the border radius, it is clearly marked out as border -radius. Let's just change that to 0. Now you need to change it for, I'm not quite sure what Moz is, it might be a shadow or something like that. So we've changed it from 8 point radius to 0 point radius. So it now should be a square, whatever this content box is. Now I'm fairly sure it's actually on the home screen. So now let's remember to empty the caches or disable them and refresh. Okay. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't that. It wasn't the this thing, but it was. Do you see this thing here where it says CSS training and account home and create new application? That has now gone to square corners. So let's just go back there and then, I don't know, create 20 and see what that does. And then that should give me nice rounded corners now. So it's just loading. Oh blimey, my internet's quite slow today. No, I was probably wrong on that one actually. I think that's always had rounded corners. I don't know. Let me try and find an area which. Oh come on! Can't find where this content box is. Okay. That's quite annoying because that wasn't it. Oh, I don't know. Let me just think. No, I can't find this content box, this mysterious content box. Although it might actually be these ones here, these kind of pop-down ones. Although I wouldn't be too confident about that. But anyway, I'll move on to a different box if we can't find this particular one. It might be that this box is only used by admins or something like that. So if we refresh this page, no, okay, I'm sorry, I can't find this content box. But you kind of getting the image that that you know what this box is, wherever it's located. I've changed the radius of it. Now it would be great if we could have something visual that I could show you. I'll tell you what, message boxes, we'll use something a bit more obvious. Okay, so let's do the error box. Okay, the error box, that'll be easy enough to find. So this is known as error div. So we can see here that it's linking to an image, in this case att.png. Its background for this box is white because it is FFF, which is white. And we can see that the border is 2 pixels, that kind of thing. Now, I'm fairly sure it's easy to find the error box. I could even make an error box. There you go. There you have it. Right, here is an error box. We can see that there is a, if I just shrink this, okay, so we can see that there is a red border, which is specified here, border 2 pixels solid red. The background is white, yes, we can see that, and we're using an image, which is image, which is the att.png image in the images directory. We can also see that there's a radius to this, to each of the corners, which happens to be a 0 pixel a 6 pixel radius. This is looking promising now. So if we just wanted to change something in this particular box, so let's make it, I don't know, let's come up with a new color, a shade of grey. I'm just replacing okay, so now if we save it, this should be a shade of grey now when we refresh, or actually black as it turns out. It's actually a very dark grey. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a very dark grey. So I might want to put a few more Fs in there to make it a bit more white again. But again, you're getting the message. That this, actually I've changed it to yellow now. I wasn't expecting that. But you know, you see that by changing this, again, it's actually very clearly marked out. So the error div box is this box, and every error box that comes up is contacting this part of the CSS file, and the CSS file is giving this section of the file, and is to the document, which is then showing what it needs to show, and it won't show any of the text or anything like that, although in this case it's showing a PNG file, because we've said that for every single error message should have this PNG file. Although the text can be completely custom. So
hey Thomas, not to interrupt you, but I wonder, you know, I know where I've been a mess with things in my self-hosted CSS is in the overall theme colors. There's a dark color or the light color. Like I'm not seeing it on your page right now, but I know you flipped over it a little bit ago. I wonder if you can highlight that for people so they know where to go to change like their colors for their it's like BG light and BG dark or something. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, right. Okay.
So that if people want to change like their background colors, you know, I guess one thing I'd say is make sure if you change any of these, you try to do dark for dark and light for light, because otherwise you got to change a lot of things in a lot of places. So I can really make a mess. But mine's not really completely worked out.
Okay, so if you're just using the actual term for the color, which for some colors works. Obviously, you don't have such a wide variety of colors than if you use the hexadecimal. But if you do, oh, sorry. But there are, as far as I'm aware, there's three. There's light, solid, and dark.
Yeah, that's right.
So, you know, for stuff like red, this is actually a solid red. Now, if I change this to dark red, that should change the shade of red. Although the problem is you only get 3 shades of a particular color, and the colors aren't so diverse. So you get like red, blue, and you know, yellow, and you get a few others. But you don't get obviously the hexadecimal kind of range, which is incredible. You know, each letter or number counts for 16, so you're doing 16 to the power of 6, which gives you an incredible amount of numbers, of different combinations. Now, as it turns out, I don't think dark red exists, because it's giving me no thing. Let me try another one, like dark blue or something like that. So, oh, I can't get it to. But yes, you would want to put a kind of light color on a dark background and stuff like that.
I usually go to the W3 Schools and get a hexadecimal number I like. So you go to w3schools.com and you can pick a color. They have a color picker there. I'll put it in the chat. Yeah. It's super easy to get colors from that. Especially picking it out. It's a little harder to pick out a color if you are trying to match a color. Then I have to go to Photoshop for that.
Yes. Photoshop does have their own hexadecimal thing where you scan over the color and it gives you the hexadecimal number. Yeah, so often that is quite tricky to do, matching the color. So what I've just changed right now is the color around, and I've just changed it to blue, and you can change it to green if you wanted. But as I just said, the hexadecimal gives you so many color combinations. So let's just say that now you wanted to have a really massive border. You know, sorry, a really massive radius for the border. So you change it from 6, and there's a radius for every for every corner. So let's just say I wanted to change one of them, one of the corners. Then we should let me just see. Yes, do you see that? I've changed one of the radiuses. Now, of course, that just looks a little bit odd. Although some people use
Oh, no,
schemes
that
like
could
this.
be kind of an effect. That's all right. We see what you're
Yeah,
doing here.
it can be an effect, and I have seen it done. Um, Although what you generally have is then you'd have I don't know, let's say, so that was top left. So let's say bottom right would also match that. Um, and then the other ones would be would just be wouldn't have a radius at all. Because 0 means no radius. It just means you have a square corner at the end of it. So I think this is more of an effect. If I just refresh the page now, that's more of an effect, I find. But you can kind of experiment with this. You can change the radius for individual corners, which of course means that you have to put in 4 times as much work if you want to do all 4 corners. But really, it's just a matter of changing a number. So that's basically that there. So I've gone over a few now. So that's for the boxes, the message boxes as they call them. I also want to go over the kind of links, because they are not boxes. They're just hover kind of things. When you hover over. Now again, if I just put loads of back dashes just where I need. Okay, so this is the kind of area that I want to look at now. This area. So the link color happens to be that. Now I have no idea what that is, but I can check on the internet. I expect it's going to be this kind of green/grey along the side. I mean, we can check easily. So hexadecimal color. Oh, I've just so yes, I think I'm actually going. So if I just put in the color, yes, it is that kind of greeny grey type color, which is actually quite a nice color. Now every link is following this at the moment, and then it's having a if it you've got 4 things. You've got a link, visited, hover, and active. Now visited, you may remember a few years ago that visited used to, if you clicked on a link and then it'd show that you've already visited this link. Now I don't think many browsers use this anymore. You might remember Google. You kind of go over it and it was blue, and then when you went back it suddenly became dark red. That was a visited color. But I don't think many people use this nowadays, and I don't think many browsers support it. So if I just set it to white, I don't think Safari supports it anymore. Or
Well,
might be
you
wrong.
use a visited, Thomas, if you have like a situation where you want to read through things. So so most times you have it the same color. But if you want to go step 1, step 2, step 3, and make sure you know where you've been, then sometimes you might use a different color on visited.
Yeah,
But most
exactly.
of the time,
I,
like
I
the
don't I
same
don't think
color.
many browsers support it these days. So I don't know if that's
Oh yeah, and I think they do. Like on Google, when you could do like a Google search, it changes colors as you see
it
which
goes
ones
to
you've already
red,
looked at.
but I'm not sure if it does it anymore. I mean, let me just check. So let me just Google Buzztouch. Something that oh no, it does. It does. It kind of goes to this kind
Yeah,
of
you can tell
purple
which ones you've
color.
already seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's the visited.
That's visited. Link is obviously what you initially see, so we can change that by, I don't know, let's go to this color picker and let's choose pink. I know it's a horrible color, but I'm just going to make the point here. So let's just change that. Save. Okay, and let's see. Right, everything's changed to pink. Now there are a few white ones, but I don't think they follow the CSS. So they're using something else.
Those are your visited. Those are your visited. That's why they're white.
Oh yes, they might be actually. Yeah, you're right. Haha, clever.
Yeah, the F's and the
Um,
visited.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and hover over is, I mean, it says, when you hover it, it changes color. So let's change that to green. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've now changed that to green.
Say, Thomas, I wonder if we should open up to questions here and let's see what kind of
Yeah.
questions people have about all this, so we kind of get people's questions answered.
Okay, sure. Please do ask me
Any
some
questions? Anything? I know I had my one trial I wanted to see more about was the how to change like the key that there's the big three colors, the light and the dark ones. I know that was one question I had. I wish I would have seen that before I spent a lot of time trying to find it. Now I'm better
To
at
be
it.
honest,
I know what to do.
I'm not even sure where that's.
There it is. Content band. That's it. Content band. You're there right now.
Oh yes, I know it was error div, wasn't it?
And those are the big
I'm gonna,
three that people should look at if they're trying to switch things around. The links are important too.
Yes, I find. I mean, to be honest, just going through it, I've spent half an hour going through my personal one. I'll show you what my personal one looks like. So you can kind of, you can see straight away. I've used a different font. I'm using Helvetica Neue for the top. This is actually the same account. So you can see that it's different. I've gone for this purple. You might not be able to see it very well, but it's a purple text with the kind of.
Well, you have a custom font in there too. I can tell it recognizes a custom font.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah. So actually, I should go over that custom font thing, and show you how to do that. So I'll do that. But yeah, any questions? Anyone?
I kind of think we probably should kind of wrap up here a little bit. I know I can't go past 4 o'clock today, but I think I figure out what your main what other things you want to get on the recording here, Thomas, for people because well, one thing I wanted to mention too is I was talking to Mr. David about this, and okay, so like it's actually kind of a lot of work to get a really cool self-hosted control panel, and part of the thing is you want it to look like your own website because you may have clients looking at it. And part of it, though, is you want it to, but maybe you just want it to look cool and different, and you don't really have a client, or maybe you want something that's a starting point. So one thing you can do is if Thomas, especially someone like you with your design skills, could make some backgrounds, you could sell those on BT Mods. So you could actually.
I am actually making 2 themes right now. I'm wanting to make like an iOS 7 type theme. That's one of them.
Yeah. So you can actually sell the themes on BT Mods, and then that'd be a way that you could make a little money on it. And then the other thing too is not everyone is that good at CSS. I've gotten a lot better at CSS in the past year, but if you're not that good at CSS and you don't like it that much, it's very hard to find the things But if you have a good starting point, like you started with Mr. David's, that makes it a lot easier for people. What do you think about that idea?
The thing I really love about Mr. David's one, in particular, is that he comments everything. Absolutely everything. He makes it pretty clear. So actually, this error box that I was using is probably a really good example of that because it shows you font size up here, which I didn't really get onto. You got margins, so it shows you the margins of the box. Background color, which of course applies to everything. Just color of links and stuff like that. Pixels for borders. Radius for. So it kind of covers quite a lot of things there. So just these message boxes are pretty good. Yeah. Any questions? Please do speak out.
Questions or. Actually, the mics are out. No one's muted today. We have no sound problems with the 7 people here, so it's a little easier. If there is more time at the end, then we can. Mr. David, he didn't want to watch the CSS presentation. You can see why, because he actually made the one that now is starting with.
Yeah.
But I can text him if we want to look at some of his new work.
because this applies to everything. I found this quite handy for my websites as well, because my websites generally run on CSS as well.
That sounds good.
So to be able to, because the problem is not many computers will have a custom font. So let's say, I know one of my favorite fonts is a font called Myriad Pro, and that's used by Apple. However, not many Macs, let alone PCs, have this font downloaded. And you know, if it's not downloaded, then it'll just show Times New Roman or something like that, and it'll make your website look a bit unprofessional, to be honest, if you don't have your own font. So let's go to our font book. Let's use one called Foundry Sterling. I don't know why, it was just the first one that popped up. So Foundry Sterling book. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go to CSS font face converter. That's pretty much all you need to put in. This one looks good, font2web.com or any other ones, you know, really doesn't matter. So let's go to one of them all. I've used one. Oh yes, this is the one that I keep using. So I'd recommend that that you go there. So I think we just load that up in the Finder. If I can find it, show and find it. There you go. Oh, change desktop for me. Now then, if I just drag and drop it, it should just. Oh, come on. No. Is it not? Oh, they've moved to a new location. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we just kind of drag and drop it into their. Oh, don't tell me I have to go through all of this. This particular website has got. It used to just be a drag and drop. Although we'll find it. So no, sorry. I'll use a different website that does have drag and drop, because finding the font file is really difficult if you're just going through. There you go. This one has a drag and drop. You just drag and drop onto the choose file. Okay. And convert and download. Okay, there you go. So what have we got? There it is. Right, what they have now given you is the files that you'll need. Here, I think there might be one more than you actually need, but you need 4 files, and they've also given you what you need. Now you don't actually need what they've commented at the top. You just need that. And again, make sure that your direct, that it's in that directory. So they've created one called fonts / and then the file name. If you don't have a fonts directory, then you don't need to have that. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to do that and then copy it over. So what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to pop one in there, and then I'm going to find a place where they're using this Rockwell regular. I'm going to change it with Foundry Sterling. So here we go. Here's one. They've specified the font. They've linked to above in the thing. Okay, so I'm just changing that. I'm just changing the font family, and I'm going to save that. Although remember that I haven't uploaded the files to my server. I've got to do that too. So let me just pop that in. Okay. So where are we? Themes. Yeah, fonts. As it happens, we already have a directory called fonts. Okay, and then we'll just pop that in. Okie dokes. Yeah. Okay. That's all done. So now, when we go back to our some of the fonts that should change. There you go. Look at that. Do you remember what it was before? It was this other font. Now it's gone to Foundry Sterling. So that's basically what you're doing. We've changed this. Sorry if you can hear my clock. So that's how to change the kind of font. It's really pretty simple, although that is probably the bit that people have quite a bit of difficulty in. But I do recommend that you start out with David's package, because he's made it clear. He's commented almost everything, or made it clear, not necessarily commenting. And what I have, this font face thing, is probably the most difficult bit, to be honest, out of all of it. But it is just, I mean, if you're using the control panel for changing colors in a menu or something like that, then you'll understand about hexadecimal stuff and stuff like that. If you're kind of with me. So yeah, and another thing to probably say is that David's particular one, he uses a set of images for the background, and what they are, they are tiled. So this one is actually the background. If I move this to a new desktop, you'll see what I'm on about. This is the background that he's using, and he's just tiling it across the whole thing. And here is the header. Here, the kind of grey bit. That's that. If we go back to here, he's tiled it basically. He's tiling both of them. Now what I've done is I've kind of changed bits of it. So you can change your CSS even if you don't even go into the CSS code. You can change the look of it just by changing the background stuff that he's given you. So that's one way. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty much me. Done. Any other questions?
Can't think of anybody. Yeah, actually, this would be nice as a PDF too. But I think this video will be very helpful for people that want to customize. I think one of the key learnings for me is that if you start with Mr. David's, then you have a little more comments to work with to help you find your way around the CSS file. So that's actually really good advice for people too, to start with the one from BT Mods, and then you still have to do all the work to modify it, but at least you know you aren't wasting time looking for things, which is what takes some time, trying to find where they are.
Yeah, I also think that the BT Mods one is pretty good because the bar, the top bar goes across the whole page. So even if you go to a really big screen like this, it's still going across the whole page. Whereas I think just the standard one, I don't know, can I just use your one, Susan, just to demonstrate this?
Oh yeah, sure.
Is it White Buffalo Mobile?
Yeah, that one works. Yep, they're all the same. White Buffalo Mobile. My main one is White Buffalo Solutions, but I'll see what's in the search.
So if we go to your control panel, which you've created a link to, you have this kind of rounded area.
Mm-hmm.
Now I noticed that your background, you haven't tiled it. So
no, yeah, the background is kind of a stupid background. Actually, the background, if you look at my website, it's been a disaster. Not a disaster, but I really like the picture. It's tiled one way; it's just upside down, but it's been a problem from start to finish trying to have a picture like that in there, because it doesn't tile very well. And but it's got a really cool picture.
But what you can see with the Buzztouch one is that they've rounded off the corners. They've created boundaries to where it can be. Although, as you know, if you expand the window, it still stretches out, but there's still kind of boundaries and margins.
Yeah.
What I like about David's one is that you can see that with my control panel, there are no boundaries. There are no kind of lines or anything. Although technically there is one. It doesn't kind of show it. Yes, I do hope to be coming out with a few plug-in sorry, not plugin. What was I talking about? Theme packages for people. So yeah, I'm currently making two. I'm making a version of what I've got already, although I think I'm going to make a few changes because I think I want to change a few things before I give it out publicly.
Well, we should need to grab this. Chad just put in the Oh, Chad, you're here. That's Chad. You have the best website. I mean, I always think it's the best, but Chad is an amazing website too. You got some. What's this? What does this do, Chad? Can you talk, Chad? Are you a place you can talk?
Sorry, yeah, just my dog's barking in the background.
Oh, that's
So
great.
what I did was I took David's or Mr. David's control panel and I downloaded it and I modified it heavily to where it's something that I like to match my brand and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I can't show my screen right now. Just because
Oh, you
I'm at
can't.
work.
Okay, that's all right. You don't have to.
I'm at work. I could take some screenshots later if we want to do it later. But basically what I did was I took his buttons, his backgrounds, and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of changed the entire push notification interface. For that little code snippet that I placed in there,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see that it has a hover effect and a kind of like a color style to it, rather than using an actual button image. So what that is, it allows you to have like a nice flat looking color. I used like a green for my main button, and then a white, like an off white for the cancel buttons. Basically, that allows you to more flexibility rather than using just an image itself. It allows you to style it with any color code that you want to use it. So you could change the hover color, you could change just the active color itself. So it gives you a lot more flexibility than just using a image itself. And the good thing about it is that little code snippet changes all your buttons in your entire control panel. So you could, you don't have to worry about it, changing every single button in your control panel. So like the search buttons will be that green. The cancel button, you can make, change that to whatever color you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things I was going to actually I should have said, which is maybe I did say it, but if you change something in your CSS, then because it's like one file, it's a general theme for the website, then everything changes, which is related to that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. I'll take a quick screenshot of like the app icon layout that I have, and I mean it's not anything fancy, and I'll just upload it to our URL and put it in the comment box.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically I guess be able to see what that code snippet looks like. It has the cancel button and the upload button involved with it.
Oh,
So
I cut and pasted over. I'll probably try it.
So that is the link that I have for
Oh, let's see.
the app icon upload screen.
Right. Yeah.
It looks nice.
Yeah. That's I've done I have gone. So let me just. Can you make me the presenter again, Susan?
Oh, I will. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Let me see. Maybe I did it wrong. Let me try it again.
Again, as I said, this is just a matter of changing the image changing what's in the images. Although what's
we don't see your screen yet, though, Thomas. Oh, there it is. Now we do. Now we do.
So you can see that I've just put a modern iPhone instead of I mean, I think you've gone one step further, and I mean, actually, it's not really one step further. It's just a different way of going about it. You're just having a flat image instead of an image that. And also, you've made yours 5-inch. I've just stuck with a 4-inch because I found that it just kept pushing the page too far down. So, although there's that's just a thing that I found, and I like 3.5-inch anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm still doing this, but the clients that I work with, I kind of wanted to give them more of the updated iOS version feel, like don't stick with the flat version and keep it consistent.
You'll see with mine that I've got the iOS 7 icons in there.
Right.
and I've even cheesily put my own app icons along the bottom. So I just thought, hey, may as well chuck it in.
Yeah, extra marketing.
So that might be something that you might want to look at. I don't know, but certainly yours is good. Yeah, I just took mine off the simulator because that has a nice black background. But yeah.
Yeah, I do all the design work for my entire control panel that I have. I'd love to show my screen, but unfortunately I can't right now. I'm at work.
All right.
But yeah, it's pretty unique. I'm still learning CSS and everything, all that good stuff.
Well, to be honest, I am. I've
One thing that I definitely recommend is I don't know if you guys use the inspect element that browsers come with. So like if you ever come across say a website that you really like the exact layout, if you right click on a button or any image inside that website, and then you can actually see how they set their CSS up, and then you can kind of understand what other sites are doing that you'd like to replicate for your own site, and therefore you can see their entire CSS. Like say you want a sign up button on the top right of your nav bar, which is kind of what I have. I went to a specific website that I wanted to kind of reflect my site based off of, and then I just kind of took their CSS and kind of manipulated it to where it looks good on my site.
actually, yeah, yeah, that is another thing. You know, with the Safari thing, you get in view page source code. You know, as you're just explaining, you can see the whole CSS for that site, for that page.
Yeah,
Which is kind of quite funny. And right now, I'm just looking at my own one, so you can, yeah, that's quite funny.
But the cool thing is, like I said, if you right click on, say, like you want to replicate a button, if you right click on the button and then hit inspect element, it will tell you on the right hand side, you know, what line of that CSS is, and it'll tell you exactly what property values belong to that area. I use Google Chrome mainly for all my development work, and Google Chrome will actually even highlight, you know, like as you're hovering over stuff, it will tell you exactly where that line of code is. So if you click on that line of code, it will tell you that exact snippet.
Yeah, no,
Safari does it too. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of going over bit by bit of the page.
Yeah, and it highlights the like containers and everything.
It's selecting bits of what that affects.
What's nice about that is that you can find if you don't know where your CSS is broken, then you find your line number for your CSS. I learned that the hard way. So you know I think I did some control panels before I knew about that, so I worked a lot harder than I would have had to. So
I actually use a lot of the BBC website for quite a lot of my websites. I know it's a little bit cheeky, but I often use the BBC website because I think that's a really nice website. So
that is nice.
Yeah.
This is my husband's homepage on his computer. He likes the BBC.com. He's an Anglophile.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.